Let me ask you a personal question. What do your colleagues say about you being so outspoken? Because after talking to Dr. Buttar a couple days ago, it seems that this is a case of people keeping their heads down because if they put their head up and go against the common, consensus of what's going on, whether it's WHO one day or something that the government says the next day, I mean, you can be vilified. Um, yeah, how are you being reacted to by colleagues?
Well, that's a great question, and I've definitely had some negative experiences as a result of this. But I want to say that if you're for healthcare professionals, especially doctors, you've got a lot invested in your career. You've put a lot of time in. You've had a lot of delayed gratification because during all your training, you've lived at very low standard of living, and all this time, most of us have accumulated quite a lot of debt. Sometimes, more than $250,000 of debt. And so when we finish all of that training and finally get to practice and start earning a reasonable income, we end up buying a bunch of things and then getting into more debt. And so our whole lives are sort of stuck in this cycle. And if we start to question what we're doing as doctors, and believe me, we all observe that treating patients with the typical, drugs, radiation, and surgery, which were the only things we're really allowed to use, we see many times people are not getting better, and many times they're actually getting worse with this treatment. But if we acknowledge that, then it puts us in a very difficult position that we have to take a risk to actually sacrifice all of that hard work and all of the income that we need to pay back our debts and keep our life going. So for an individual to take this chance, you might end up, end up out of a job. You may end up losing your home. Your car may be repossessed. Your kids won't be able to go to private school. Maybe your spouse will decide to leave you. So there's huge, huge risks. And even myself, like I have been working over several years to try and mitigate this risks and get out of the system overall. And it's been a gradual stepwise process. And I believe that I'm, going to be very successful in doing that. But for everyone else, it's much, much more difficult. So many of my former colleagues and friends even who are psychiatrists or other kinds of doctors have not been very happy about what I'm saying at all. And, and some of them have completely written me off. But on the other hand, I have had a lot of new people reach out to me, new colleagues and many doctors actually who really appreciate that I've been speaking, honestly about what I think and taking the risks that I have. And, they're very supportive and they want to learn more and they want to figure things out. And they're going to be facing some very difficult decisions about how they deal with their career moving forward.